What is your I knew it story? When I started my new job, everyone insisted within the first week that I had to like Josh. He was the office sunshine, the guy who helped everyone, brought coffees without being asked, and remembered everyone's birthday. People adored him, but from day one, something in me tightened whenever he walked into the room. Not fear, more like quiet alarm bells. That subtle instinct that whispers, something's off. Josh was simply too polished, too attentive. He always said exactly what people wanted to hear. He had this uncanny habit of remembering tiny details from conversations. Things most people would forget within hours. Others thought it was thoughtful. I saw how intensely he watched people, especially when they weren't paying attention to him. What really made me uneasy was how his focus gravitated toward the youngest part-time workers. He offered them help with tasks they didn't need help with, brought them snacks just because, lingered a bit too long in conversations. It wasn't dramatic or openly inappropriate, just off. A kind of friendliness with undertones no one else seemed to notice. One evening, I overheard him telling one of the part-timers behind the building that he didn't have to tell his parents every detail of his day, because some things are just between friends. The kid laughed awkwardly. I didn't. When Josh noticed me standing there, his expression flickered, only for a second before he forced a smile that looked painfully strained. That night, I quietly mentioned the situation to my manager. Not an accusation, just a concern. As expected, he brushed it off. Josh, he's harmless. A few weeks later, everything changed. HR sent out a short, carefully worded message. Josh had been suspended pending review, and shortly after, terminated. No details, just violation of conduct standards. But rumors spread fast, and eventually, the truth filtered through in bits. One part-timer reported that Josh had been overly persistent about spending time together outside of work, even after being told no. Another mentioned he would message them late at night, pretending it was about schedules, but steering the conversation somewhere more personal. A third said Josh offered them rides home a little too often, and didn't like being told no. Individually, each complaint seemed mild, awkward, uncomfortable, boundary-pushing as HR put it. But together, they painted a picture that no one could ignore anymore. Enough to justify ending his contract. Enough to make the office collectively exhale and say, okay, that wasn't nothing. When I read the official notice, I caught myself whispering. I knew it. Not out of satisfaction, but out of confirmation. That instinct I tried to ignore had been pointing to something real all along. Sometimes your gut senses the truth long before you have the evidence.